Well, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm sitting here outside the DMV waiting for Angie to register the motorhome we just bought. I did enough research before we bought it, talked to different people and called different DMVs and did research online to see what kind of tax burden we're going to have, because we live in a state that not only has a sales tax, but they have an ad valorem tax, a property tax, if you will, for vehicles, including motorhomes. So when you have a motorhome we paid roughly $400,000 for this motorhome. The taxes are pretty burdensome. So sales tax, we're probably looking at 4%, which is low. I think in Florida we paid 8 or close to 9% when we were down there. But currently, so we pay 4% sales tax, and then we pay this ad valorem tax, which is calculated. From what I figured, talking to people before I bought this, it was going to be about $3,000 a year, and now it looks like it's going to be about $8,000. So something changed. I don't know what it was, but most of the southern states are the same way. So we got to pay sales tax, we got to pay the property tax on it, and then the registration fees, and then of course we have a state sales tax we have to pay. So and then if you have a house, you got property tax, and then of course sales tax on everything else is much higher. Vehicles, it's 4% in this area, and everything else it could be up to like 8 or 9%, depending where you live, depending what you buy. But so it looks like we're going to have a tax bill of about $8,000 a year on this motorhome, which is not as bad as Arizona, but still pretty bad when you consider all the other taxes too. Florida, when we had it down there, we had it registered, we paid a one-time sales tax, and then that's it, just registration. I think was $70 a year or something. Unfortunately, insurance in Florida is pretty high. So since we are homeless, basically, we can change our residency to wherever we want. So we're looking into states with no ad valorem tax and lower sales tax, or no sales tax, and low insurance rates. We looked in Florida, and while the sales tax is high, but that's all you pay, but the insurance is 3 times what we pay anywhere else, of course. So Florida's out. Looking at Montana has some limitations. We might just buy a piece of property somewhere and establish residency somewhere. There's different things you can do. You can go online and you can form an LLC, or you can get agents to do the registrations for you in different states. But it's expensive, it's complex, and I don't want any tax issues. I want to make sure that we're completely above board on this stuff. So we're looking at South Dakota. We're looking at Wyoming. Wyoming's pretty tempting. Maybe Montana. Maybe I don't know. And then Florida's out, like I said. But leaning maybe towards Wyoming. They seem to have a pretty lax tax situation out there. Granted, it's unpopulated, which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind living out in the middle of nowhere. But so we have to register it here for the short term. The registrations come due, I think, in a few months. So we have to pay the tax. We already paid the sales tax because we thought we were just going to register it here and be done with it. But once we found out the high taxes that would cost every year, we decided we'll just register it here for a couple months, give us some time to look around, maybe look for some property, and then see where we want to make our residency. I don't know. Don't. I don't know what these states are thinking, but we're not really enthused about paying a 5% state tax here anyway. But before we had the motorhome, the property taxes were so low, and the prices of other things were so low that it was worthwhile. But now it's really not. Now with the motorhome and everything else, it's not so great of a deal anymore. So that's our irritated rant today. I don't know what we're gonna do now, but we'll figure out something. I'm sure. We're headed up to Oshkosh tomorrow, waiting for an internet router. I bought an internet router online. The company said great service, blah 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 blah. They have service through AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon, and great customer service. So I ordered it in because we were going to leave yesterday. I ordered it next day air. Well, they didn't ship it till they dropped it off at a UPS store at 7 o'clock at night. Of course, so it didn't get shipped that day. It got shipped. I ordered it the day before, actually. Got shipped the next day, and then found out. I called them up and I said, hey, it's not going to be here. They're like, oh, we're sorry, whatever we can do, we can forward it to an address. I said, I don't have an address. And I said, well, you know what I'll do? I'm going to stick around for one more day here and just see if I can get it. So I get the tracking information today. They sent it to our old house. Because that was still in our billing address. We hadn't changed it yet, but so they sent it there instead of the address we wanted them to send it to. So, and I had a hard time reaching their customer service. You had to go through email to get to them. So I think it's some guy in his basement just running this thing, but who knows? I don't know. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I guess I'll just let them kind of figure it out and fight with them later. So that's how my day is going so far. Hopefully we'll get out of here tomorrow and then head up to some cooler weather. It's been warm here anyway. But unless we've got some other issue, hopefully the RV starts up and everything's going good. So we'll see.
What you hunting for?
First rain of the season right here.
Yeah.
We didn't check when we bought the RV to see if it was leaking in the rain, because we didn't really have anything, but we got a good hard rain coming in here.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see water coming in, but I mean it's pouring.
You can hear
it's pouring out there.
Getting down hard.
Oh yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm wiping up some fingerprints from the roof that were
she's not wiping up water yet.
Water, not yet.
I know there's gonna be water in here.
Oh yeah.
I know there
bathroom? Well, one of my favorites is always the shower. We should check the shower.
Yeah, the shower always leaks.
The shower always leaks.
Not saying we didn't have any leaks in our other Tiffin, but everything else we've had leaks. Every other RV we've had, except the Jayco didn't have any leaks.
No. It's quiet here.
It's a miracle.
It's quiet in this area.
In the closet?
Uh-huh.
Well,
I do. I keep waiting for rain to trickle down a side. Oh, shit. Nothing.
don't see anything on the floor.
No.
Huh. Yeah, the dealership said, we asked them, we said, I suppose they've been rain tested because we've had tons of rain lately. And they said that during any heavy rain, they pull the slides in on all the RVs. So I'm like,
oh,
that's odd.
That's
I don't know why
odd.
they do that.
That's an odd thing to do.
I mean, I'd do it.
I want to find out if it leaks, but maybe they put them in because they're afraid of high winds. You know what I mean? Like a big wind coming by and catching one of the slides. I don't know.
Maybe, but come on, it's got to leak. We got to have some water
It's
in
got
here.
to be like
Here,
the American coach.
Here, let's do this. Now I feel at home.
No, we got to come through some electrical outlets in the wall.
And why don't you pour some water on the floor?
Here,
or
let
something.
me help out.
Saki's not real enthused yet.
No. Zero has no clue what he's doing.
Usually it'll wait until we start going down the road, and then what'll happen is the water will come up and come through the vents on top of you. That's normally how it works.
Oh, that was the one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but we're getting ready to go here, so we'll be.
Yeah, I'm trying to
tomorrow morning
combine all my stuff and put the final pack on.
Moving from 5,000 square feet into 500.
It's horrifying.
Challenge accepted.
Moving from 500 square feet to 5,000 square feet.
We keep bringing stuff in here, and then we keep taking it back out because we don't have room for it.
Maybe we don't need that. So.
And we don't even have half of our clothes.
No.
We don't even have half of anything.
Just shoes. I'm down on shoes, man.
Yeah, you're down on shoes.
I'm down on shoes.
Me, I'm traveling with 3 pairs, so that should do me good. I don't know.
I have a few more than that. I don't have 50 or anything.
I could do with one less dog, but
No, there's such little boys.
I don't know where Zero is.
Oh, where's Zero?
Oh,
there he is.
he is.
Here. He's always like, I'm here.
Hey, Zero boy. Nah, he's been a good RV dog. He's a little unsure, but he loves his walks.
He loves his walks. He's up for him all the time. He'll walk and walk. We actually drop Saki back off and go out again with him.
Because Saki's lazy.
Saki's grumpy. Anything yet?
I brought my moisture meter too.
That's right.
Just to make sure. But usually you can see. Usually there would be something leaking in these seams
leaking right. Yeah.
Through the skylights.
Yeah, the skylight was always up.
No water there.
The bathroom.
Nothing coming through the vents.
No.
Nothing coming through the windows. Oh, we got thunder going on.
Yep.
This is what I've been waiting for. I was hoping when we picked it up it would have been raining like this.
Yeah, you were hoping that night. It did a little sprinkle, but it didn't rain.
I think the Tiffin quality is showing through. I think it is. We were still a little sad we didn't get a Prevo.
Yeah.
But looking at all the stuff we have,
space we have now,
we couldn't have.
No.
We couldn't even had as much.
No, we could have done like weekend trips in that.
Yeah.
But like a 2-week trip is very hard
For how much
dogs.
stuff we have.
Well, you're going into hot and cold and just cooking stuff.
It would. Some of them had more room. Some of them had big closets, but they were the H3s, and they were. This still has more room.
Yes.
It has more room than any of them that we looked at. But we'll see. Okay,
We'll see. The adventures of hooking up tomorrow.
It's still pouring. Well, we're getting ready to go this morning, and we have a slide that is not behaving. So it slowly works its way. Out. We're not really sure why it's a hydraulic slide. So we talked to Tiffin. They gave us kind of something to try, but that didn't work. So now we're doing our typical test and retest. There's little flappers in here. These little things here. Those apparently, if any wires touch them, they activate the slides. So there was some wires that fell down in the back, of course, and that was touching that flapper, or might have been touching the flapper. I don't know if it was or not, but it's happiness when you're rolling a big 45-foot motorhome down the road. I suppose we could just drive with it that way, but I don't trust it. I think something bad is going to happen if we do that. So, back on the phone with Tiffin again. So another call to Tiffin. Looks like...
I think we got it.
Looks okay. All we had to do is we had to go over here to these flappers.
And none of them correspond to where you think they are.
No, they're all in a different position. So these little flappers here. Now let's see. So what you got to do is you got to flip one of those up, and then you got to run your slide in and out, which the slide doesn't move when you flip it up.
It will bleed out any
And
air or junk.
It bleeds out stuff in the hydraulic lines.
Yep.
Well, so far these hydraulic slides, I'm not sure if they're all they're cracked up to be or not. We'll find out as we're going down the road here, because I don't know. We've never had any problem with the other slides on our Tiffin.
No.
But yeah, this one seems to be doing fine now.
Finally.
So, okay. I guess we're moving on. You're probably saying to yourself, what's Mike doing now? Well, Mike is scraping off the remnants of the window and the screen, because when we stopped to get gas, the door latch would not work. So I read there was a problem from other people somewhere down the line, but something shook loose in the door latch and it just opened. We tried to lock it, unlock it. We had the keys and everything. Tried to do it electronically, manually. Pounded on it with a hammer a little bit, tried to get it to work. Could not. We spent an hour trying to get it there. The dogs were inside. Of course, it was 95 degrees out. So it was like 100 and something in there. So we were at our wits' end. We called Tiffin. Unfortunately, nobody answered. We called Tiffin Roadside Assistance. They didn't even know what a motorhome was. So they gave us the runaround on that. So we had to make the decision to just break the window. And I tried to pry it off. I tried to cut it off because fortunately I had a crowbar and everything else with me. But once I put it in there and pried it a little bit, it was on there so tight it just shattered. So we put some duct tape on there for a little while. Got us going down the road about 10 miles, and that flew off.
It's not 100 mile an hour.
A few scratches from that, but scratch from the crowbar miss here. So now the door handle works fine. So we had this happen on our Jayco too, but we had a crowbar. We could crowbar the handle off.
Yeah.
I took the handle apart, and there's just little mechanisms in there that may or may not take place. We've never had this problem before. Same handle. Tiffin's never going to believe us. They're never going to believe us.
No.
So I'm sure. I mean, I'd be duly impressed if they actually took care of this. But roadside assistance is completely worthless. Completely. So there's a piece of inner glass here. I guess we're gonna maybe use that. And we got some silicone at the Dollar General. We're gonna try and put it in here somehow, and see if we can make it to our next destination.
them send us a
we
window.
also were going down the road, and then we tried to run the generator going down the road, and the air conditioner, the transfer switch wouldn't work. So
We've never had good luck with those.
so we couldn't get that working. Finally, we figured out they shut the breaker off at the dealership. In the front of the you can't get to it.
No.
You got to stop. You got to open up the generator, and then you got to turn the transfer switch on. So finally figured that out, and so we're here, late, but we're here. Who knows? Who knows what our next adventure is going to be? So we're doing a little drive today. As you can tell, we've got a nice harmony going on in the background. What's that beeping, you ask? What's that sound that's driving me insane for the last 1,000 miles or so? Well, it's a new system that Freightliner has out called Road Watch. It alerts you when you're getting too close to the vehicle ahead of you. Well, highway driving, it's okay when there's hardly any cars on the road, but the minute you get into traffic and you've got people pulling in front of you all the time and you keep backing off and then people keep pulling in front of you, the thing is constant. We've sat in here for hours in traffic and it just keeps going off.
Oh yeah.
And you can't turn it off. You can't do anything with it. Apparently you can go to Tiffin and have them quiet down the beeper, but it's still insanely loud and insanely irritating. So, looking at this, I'm not even that close to the vehicle in front of me. And so it's, in the adaptive cruise control, that's what it's kind of tied into, and I'm not even using that. You have to go and turn off the adaptive cruise control every time you get in the vehicle. And you have to make it standard cruise control, because the problem with the adaptive cruise control is I can set it at the speed I want to go, let's say 70, and it'll go 70 until it hits a car, and then it gets within that distance, and then it just slows down, and it'll stay behind the car for miles and miles and miles and miles. At 100 miles, if the car is going 40, it'll just sit there and go behind the car. And you won't really realize it until you look down and say, oh God, why am I going 40 miles an hour?
Why is everyone passing me?
That's what I did when I brought it back from the dealer. I was sitting here, I set the cruise control at like 70. And then I'm just traveling along, I'm paying attention to the mirrors and trying to figure out what all the beeping is. The tire monitor's going off and everything else is going off, and then making sure my depth fluid is good, making sure that the car is good on the back and everything else. Looking at my GPS, and I'm going along, all of a sudden I look down, I'm going like 45 miles an hour, because cars are just whizzing by me. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I'm trying to figure it out, I'm thinking, okay, adaptive cruise control. It slowed me down to the insane guy driving in front of me 45 miles an hour on the freeway. So I don't know. If anybody has an idea of turning that off, we're thinking about blocking the sensor with a license plate or something. I put tape over it, but that wasn't enough. So it's still on. I found where the sensor is. It's just a matter of getting it turned off, or just staying out of heavy traffic completely and driving on the roads of West Texas.
Yeah.
So
cornfields.
I'm not sure how far we can just drive around West Texas for, but
It'd be pretty boring.
Yeah. Here we are, filling up. I figured I'd put some DEF fluid in here for the first time. Unfortunately, I can fit a little over half of a jug in there because I can't tilt the jug all the way up because this arm is in the way. So looks like somebody didn't think this through very well. I suppose I could disconnect this, but yeah, engineers. For those of you that want to know the cost of filling up a motorhome, this one isn't too bad.
No, so far. Ooh, how far were we down?
Prevo would have been a 200-gallon tank. This is only 100 gallons. I wish it was 150.
I do. I missed the 150.
This sucks.
We stopped again.
Yeah. With our Allegro, with the 150 tank, we could go pretty much north to south in the U.S. and only have one fill up.
Yeah.
There we go. So we got $272. Not the worst bill we've ever had.
No.
During COVID, we had a $1,000 bill once with our Allegro. So, yeah, this isn't worse. And then, let's see here. This is our entrance. They don't leave you much room. They don't leave you much room in this this BP filling station here. Jeez. So let's see. The window's holding up well though, so I guess I can't complain too much. The joys of motorhoming. Hi Saki. How you doing, buddy? There's Zero back there. He's getting used to it. Bugs on the windshield. They give you a telescoping ladder for this, where we used to carry our own ladder around, but we're using the telescoping ladder for this one. Problem is you can't clean your windshield. Usually when, granted they give you nice little stairs here. Actually, it probably would be a good idea for me to go out and clean that, but it's just gonna get covered with bugs again. We're in bug country here, so, but that's the problem with not bringing your own ladder, using the telescoping ones, is you can't clean your windshield. So, I guess I'll just wait for rain. They're looking at me.
They're judging.
I don't know what they want, but so we found what's causing the door handle to malfunction. This door handle here is a little bit loose, and when you push it down a little bit,
it disengages.
It disengages the lock, and the handle no longer works. And all it takes is just
pressure.
Just a little bit of pressure. So when I'm coming out the door, usually you're opening it, and then you're basically coming down the step, putting a little weight on the door handle, or even if you touch it just a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, if you bumped into it.
It just disengages it, and it's done.
Yeah.
So that's the situation. Next problem. These two doors here, which I do like those sliders.
Yes.
We had the electric sliders on our other one.
They were so slow.
They're way too slow. These are much better.
Especially if it's outside raining and you're trying to get stuff in.
So you close that. Oh, actually, okay, this works now.
You adjusted it a little bit.
So I adjusted it last night. So this one here, what happens is this one here, when you close it,
it doesn't
latch. And the problem is the door, see how it's misaligned? And that one is doing the same thing when the coach is leveled. And you can't adjust this latch up and down because it's pre-drilled. So you can't adjust the door because that's a gigantic piano hinge that's pre-drilled. and all it needs is like a 1/8 of an inch. And so basically to close it, you've got to lift up on it, and then
Here you go.
and then basically lift up on it and close it and make it even.
Yep.
It latches when you're going down the road. When you got the jacks on, or the jacks up, and you're going down the road and you drive it for a while, it's like all the doors align then again. But then when you put the jacks down, they misalign.
They misalign, yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But it's just an example of how much these things flex when they're going down the road. And we kind of had the same issue with our other one.
But those doors we have slammed super hard all the time.
I could adjust the little latches a little bit to make it work. But yeah, don't hit your head there. Angie.
I'm like all of a sudden, like I forgot.
So other than that, that's it. The water pump's a little weak. We're gonna do an upgrade on that.
Yes, must.
So
It takes forever to rinse out the shampoo.
yeah, when you get to a campsite with low water pressure, it's not great,
No.
especially for your hair.
Yeah, my hair is just like forever.
She spends an hour in the shower trying to get shampoo washed out of her hair. So we're just flushing our tanks here. Notice we don't wear gloves. I'm not too
I have soap.
ickeified by the sewage.
No, after 5 years of doing RV stuff.
We've had so much sewage on our hands by now. It's just like
Sometimes not our own.
Yeah, exactly.
An American Eagle.
Yeah, you just do it. I see people with full hazmat suits.
I did. I saw. I was driving to take the garbage out. I did. So I'm like, new camper. That's why. Every time I see that, I'm like, new camper.
Yeah, I just get the sewer hose out with my hand and just a couple times. And,
All clean.
Yeah, clean the inside of the sewer hose out with my fingers. Delish.
Protein.